Social media has had a massive impact on the vast majority of people, with over 45 million users in the UK alone. It has improved worldwide connectivity and enabled real-time information sharing. Overall, social media has brought about many benefits to today's society. However, our persistent use of it has resulted in the development of many negative effects. Our obsession to endlessly scroll through Instagram and Twitter is slowly taking a toll on our way of thinking and our general mental health, in particular amongst young people. A 2018 study by the NHS revealed that 87.3% of 11 to 19-year-olds who suffered from anxiety or depression interact with social media. We are more exposed to harm than ever before.
My name is Dr. Cara Booker. I am a research fellow here at the Institute for Social and Economic Research, and my research focuses on social media use and adolescent well-being. According to research that I've conducted and other research in the field, it suggests that social media use may be particularly bad for females. So young girls who are on social media a lot may be more impacted by what they're seeing or what they're interacting with versus young males who may not be on social media as much. So it's still a question that we don't really know the answer to, but that's kind of how it's looking in certain situations. I think that there's a definite possibility. Social media, how we interact with it, we tend to only put on the positive parts of our lives. So we're only showing when things are good or when we're going on amazing vacations or those kinds of things where we don't necessarily share when things are bad. So I think that young people, unless they understand that that's how the nature of it works, may expect that things should always be good and not that there are also, troughs in lives as well as peaks. As I said earlier, I think that it's kind of a mixed situation. I think there are certain cases where it might be that increased social media use or the types of things that people are doing on social media, whether they're creating content or they're just consuming it, might play a part in people's, or specifically adolescents' mental health. But then it also could be that adolescents with poor mental health go on social media more. So it could also go in the other way, and we just don't really know exactly which direction or even how big of an effect social media is having on adolescent well-being.
So I'm Kathryn Buchanan. I'm a psychology lecturer. I teach on positive psychology and well-being, and previously I've taught on personality and individual differences. I think that's when people derive self-esteem from the likes they get on Facebook and other people's approval, that's kind of bad. I think things like Periscope and getting these likes or these loves can lead people to be encouraged to pursue behaviour that's sometimes not very good. Mm-hmm. So I was watching a Netflix documentary about a girl who'd actually filmed her friend being raped, and because at the time she was on Periscope and she kind of got wrapped up with how many heart emojis she was getting sent by everyone because it was a bit funny because she was a bit drunk. And then later on in court, she got a sentence for not intervening and stopping this awful thing that was happening with her because she was so immersed in this kind of virtual approval that she was getting. And then I think body image, kind of unrealistic expectations, because a lot of people are kind of photoshopping and airbrushing and using all these apps to kind of highlight themselves or show themselves in an unrealistic way. So that's bad. Then there's also from a relationship point of view, I think it kind of really highlights the social interactions we're having. Mm-hmm. So people can kind of keep tabs on maybe people they once had a crush on ages ago, or they can end up stalking people, or they can realise if they're in a committed relationship or maybe a less committed relationship, they can think about alternatives, who else is out there. Whereas before we didn't kind of have that. And we're also seeing the best parts of everyone else's relationship. There are all these unrealistic expectations that people think, well, why isn't my life like that? You can get a bit envious, and it can destroy trust as well. It's just a really distorted version of reality. But then on the plus side, like, it's been a really great resource for putting people in touch that have specific things in common. And it can be used to increase awareness of mental health issues and like strategies for tackling them.
There are lots of assumptions made about the negative effects of social media on young people's mental health. Some of that related to beliefs about addiction or about particular harm. I think what we do know is that there is a degree of risk. There are certainly concerns about harmful content online, for example, relating to suicide or eating disorder and self-harm. There's also some evidence around impact on sleep, which of course is incredibly important to physical and mental health. But the evidence is very, very mixed, and there are probably some areas of evidence of benefit as well as harm, or at least potential benefit. And we know that young people are concerned about body image, and some of that is related to digital media, let's put it that way. Some of that, of course, has been around for a very long time as well, through other more traditional media. And in a sense, I think what we've done is we've kind of pinpointed social media on their own as being the problem, rather than seeing the broader things that affect children and young people's mental health in the round. I mean, I think, again, it's difficult to advise young people directly on this, partly because I think it's about how social media interact with young people, but also how schools support young people to engage in social media and to do that safely, but also to create spaces where actually young people can support one another and provide positive help rather than it always being seen as a problem. So I think it's really important, obviously, that young people have access to help and support online. That if they're worried about content, they have somewhere they can go to talk about it, and that we provide a safe space, but also a space that isn't always being looked over.